Good morning. This is Luann, and I am with the Talk of the Midwest. And this morning we are going to be interviewing Mr. Preston Love Jr. with Black Votes Matter. Good morning, Mr. Love.
Good morning. I wanted to give you a two-part welcome. One is that we are inside. So that's a great welcome because outside is the beginning of looks like a snow and hopefully not a blizzard. So welcome to the inside. But surely happy to be able to say hello to your viewers as it relates to my office, which is called Black Votes Matter. Black Votes Matter may speak for itself, but in a way it doesn't. We are in the business of addressing the bigger issue of voter participation in urban and poverty-stricken communities. That's what we're really about. It's not just about a cute little phrase called Black Votes Matter. I would mention that Black Votes Matter is not Black Lives Matter, even though I support, generally speaking, the Black Lives Matter movement. This is Black Votes Matter. Our focus is to well, first of all, we've changed our name. We're now Black Votes Matter Institute of Community Engagement, which speaks to the fact that we are getting a little more in depth. The Institute indicating that we're doing a lot more than just knocking on people's doors and asking them to come out and go vote. We surely do that, but we do candidate development workshops. We do a lot of work with the youth. I am, as a personality, a number of things. So really anything that has my name on it is all anchored in what I'm really about. And what I'm really about is the development of our community. And so that takes on many, many forms. One is to get our African American, quite frankly, Latino, people of color, communities to vote, but more importantly, our poverty-stricken communities. Nowadays, in my community, that includes South Sudanese, Somalians, Burmese, and many, many other. So it's more complex than it used to be, which is just black, white, and Latino. So with that said, we spend a lot of time in schools. I'm a university professor at the University of Nebraska in Omaha, so I teach a course called the African American Experience in Politics. And what I find is the evidence of why I'm existing, because I sit there in front of my juniors and seniors and they have very little civic knowledge and they have little or no African American civil rights or history, and especially not if it relates to civics and politics. So I do that. I'm an author. I have written, I'm published in 2 books. I have another book coming out next week. And the first book that I wrote is called The Economic Cataracts, which is not about eye surgery, but it's about it is about the lack of vision, both within and without of our community, about the challenges that we have, and about the residuals of poverty. That includes community engagement, which includes voting, but it's bigger even than that. And so, in more recent years, and as you'll find right here, a visual of kind of the Black Votes Matter. You know, our mission is to include the wealth of the community, for strong community engagement, to increase voter participation, to provide development services for candidates, campaign, and leadership, and to provide history and civic education to our youth. That's what we're about. And so on the bottom you see another logo down there, which is Black Votes Matter, the tour, which I surely like to comment on. But right now I want you just to know that it is a commitment to try to hustle the money, to have an office so that we're right in the middle of the community and try to impact by just being where we're supposed to be. So we're a 24-hour operation. We have lots of people who come in traffic-wise for the wrong reasons, and we throw them down, reroute them, we tie them up and make them register to vote, and then we give them a speech, and we beat them up, and then we untie them, let them go. But so that's what we're about. And so all of the work that I do, I'm a national lecturer, I'm an author, I'm a newspaper columnist, I run this organization, I'm a university professor, I think I may have said that. But all of that work is the same piece of work, which is how to get our community in its rightful place, where it's vibrant, where the people are community engaged, and pretty much most of that boils down to trying to figure out how to bring wealth into a poverty-stricken community, which is where I'm beginning to spend more time in urban wealth initiatives. And so what I do there mainly is just lecture, but I surely want to say then, that brings me to one of our initiatives right now, which is really heavy duty focusing on our youth, with the hope that we can plant some seeds. I have done some studies, and I'm unfortunately have to say what I found in my studies is, beside the fact that the community is not voting like they should, is we're creating a culture of non-voters in our youth, a culture of non-voters, which is devastating. And that culture, we will not be able to get them back easily once they become adults. And so, and some of the culture is adults. And so their peers, maybe their parents, are not voting, and they could care less, and our message of community and all of that does not resonate. So we've got to hear that, understand that, see that, and begin to do some work early.
I have a question for you real
Yes.
quick. In California, one of the movements that we have going on out there is removing the box for people that have served time in the correctional
Sure.
centers. Is there anything?
Yeah, oh no, we've, and I say we, I don't mean just Black Votes Matter, but many in the community have addressed the issue of, and we've had some success in removing the box, so that the box, for those who are not with us, is the box that says, are you a felon? Are you been, and then therefore, if you check that box, I don't care what your qualifications are, you're not going to make it into the employment. That just eliminates you. So the whole idea is that if you allow the candidate to express themselves, to talk about their skills and have interviews and their personality and all those things, that then if you want to ask them about what their background is, it may not make a difference, because you see the goal, in the person, and so that box check has not eliminated them from being considered, and maybe they have a lot to offer the court. And so yes, we were surely down that road on that issue. And so with that said, so our youth is, where I was going is that our youth needs to be focused on. And so we, the Black Votes Matter, have a new initiative, and we're taking 40 of our local high school youth on a 1-week, all expense paid, on a civil rights tour. We're going from Omaha to Memphis to Birmingham to Tuskegee to Montgomery to Selma, across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and then on to Atlanta and back.
Nice.
And we are going to all the iconic places. I could take the time and walk you through what happens at every stop, but it needs not be said. It's just that they're going to come back changed, and they're going to come back as our future leaders.
And this is your first trip with the Black Votes Matters Tour for the youth?
Yes, this is we're going in June of 2018, and this is the first trip. We will be doing this annually. We're excited. We've been working on this since July, and here we are in February. So we've been working a long time. We've identified and have confirmed all of the youth and their parents. The parents are not going, but they needed to be brought in and, you know, understand the process. We're taking 10 chaperones. We're teaching them and then requiring them to journal. We're, you know, some wonderful, maybe a life-changing experience for both them and us. But we surely want to make sure that that trip is not misconstrued as a great thing in itself. What it is an investment in our youth. So we're not just playing with a fun trip. By the way, it's taking $40,000, and we're still trying to raise the money. So anybody who's watching, we surely could use some donations. What's happening now is that many institutions have decided to sponsor one kid, which is about $1,000, and that's been kind of fun to watch that happen. So that's kind of the short tour.
Okay.
What we do, the building is full of all kinds of good stuff. What you see here is I do regular workshops. This is a series of workshops there, and you can get a visual on that. But those are coming up starting next week. But do workshops. This is, of course, our agenda. We do forums, and all of these posters on the wall are forums that we created and produced, if you will. And in some cases, we just produced them and hosted them, because all of these are the guests that we had at these forums that talking about things that impact the community and so forth.
Give you a minute here.
Sure. And so that is part over here is my Taj Mahal, meaning all of my little goodies, things that I've done, that I'm doing, I should say, but I'm a regular columnist. Those are the news, that's we write a column in the black newspaper, so I keep those newspapers. This, you can see the picture of my cover of my book. These are articles that have been written about our work. These are articles that I've written. These are the brochures for the tour that I just mentioned. We keep all of that for people as they come in. These are some of the, as I mentioned, I am a national lecturer. There's a picture, probably one of my most exciting lectures was in Erie, Pennsylvania, to the Jefferson Educational Society last year, and you know, all that. So those are things, and then reference books. I was, of course, in my past, Jesse Jackson's organizer and his campaign manager when he ran for president in 1984. I organized the campaign, I ran it, and this is a magazine which I'm in at that time. This magazine is from May of 1984.
Wow.
And there's a picture of me when I had no gray hair and all kinds of stuff.
Back in the day, huh?
Back in the day. This is what you find here, and I'm just kind of giving you a sampling, but this right here, something I'm proud of, but this is a very three-part research paper that I wrote as a result of work, research that we did with my university class at one of the local high schools about the voting habits, and it was horrible results. It told me just what I mentioned earlier. It confirmed all that. So that's that, and so we're happy to have you here, and if you have some questions, maybe we can sit down and do that.
Most definitely. We're going to take a break and be right back after.
Very good.